Hi guys, and welcome to the first lesson in our personal finance topic. Today you can see that we're going to start by looking at wages and salaries. So we're going to learn how to calculate wages from a given hourly rate. A wage is typically given as an hourly rate, so that means a worker gets paid a set amount for each hour that they work. So £5 an hour, £8 an hour, £15 an hour, something like that. A salary is typically paid monthly but given as a yearly sum. So you might see that a job advertises a £20,000 annual salary, but you don't just get paid at the end of every year. You get a monthly wage that is your salary divided by 12. Example 1. So Jane works in H&M where the hourly rate is £7.80. Calculate her weekly wage if she works 20 hours a week. So if she works 20 hours a week, we need to take her hourly rate and multiply it by 20. And that's going to give us £156. And that's all we've been asked to do. She gets paid £156 per week. And that's our final answer. Example 2. Laura is looking for a new job. Which job offers more money on a weekly basis? So, just like we did before, we're going to take the hourly rate and multiply it by the number of hours worked. So if you want, you can pause the video here and try this, and then come back and check your answers. Okay, starting with office then, so that is going to be the £8.20 multiplied by 15 hours a week. And that's going to give us £123. For shoe, it is £6.90 multiplied by 20, and that gives us £138 a week. So really, Laura should go for the job in shoe because it pays more each week. Example number 3, a teacher earns an average salary of £32,000. How much does that equate to? And firstly, we're asked per month. So the first thing that we see here is that it's an average salary of £32,000. So that means that that is per year. And we should know that we have got 12 months in 1 year. So what we do is we take the annual salary and we are going to divide by 12, and that gives us 2,666.666, going on and on and on. But when we talk about money, we typically go to 2 decimal places. So the teacher should be paid £2,666.67 each month. If we want to work out per week, now in February there are exactly 4 weeks because our 28 days divided by 7 days in a week gives us 4, but some months have slightly more than that, so we can't just divide by 4. So we can't just divide the monthly wage by 4 because that's not going to be accurate. What we should know though is that we have got 52 weeks in a year. So we go back to our annual salary there, we divide by 52, and that gives us £615.384. So it's £615.38. Example number 4, Xander earns £640.58 per week. Yasmin earns £2,109.04 per month, and Zoe's annual salary is £35,700. We want to know who makes the most money. So I am just going to leave Zoe as the annual salary, and I'm going to scale the other two up to compare them all to a year. So if I start with X for Xander, his £640.58 times by 52 weeks in a year, and that gives us 33,310.16. So Zoe is still earning more, as she's 35,000. Yasmin then is £2,109.04 times by 12 months in the year. And that is going to give us £25,308.48. So our final answer then is that Zoe earns the most as £35,700 is greater than 33,000 and the 25,000. Always make sure at questions like this you finish off with a statement so that you are proving that you know why you're picking one of the options. Well done guys, that is us finished section 1 of today's lesson, so you've still got another part to go, don't give up yet. If you want, you can pause the video and attempt the first 7 questions just now, or you can continue on with the video and do all of the questions at the end. We're now going to move on to section 2, which is overtime, so we're learning how to calculate overtime payments. Overtime is the time worked in addition to your normal working hours. So you could be contracted for 20 hours a week, and any extra hours that you work over that count as overtime. It's important to note here that employers do not have to pay workers for overtime. So if you decide that you can't get everything finished in your normal shift and voluntarily work extra hours, your employer does not have to pay you for that. However, if your work are asking you to do extra hours, then you should be getting paid for that. If they're telling you you need to work an extra shift in the week, then they should be paying you. They can't force you to work for free. Some employers offer double pay for overtime. So this means that you would get paid twice the amount of your normal rate for the extra hours you work. So if your normal rate is £7 an hour and you get paid double pay for any overtime, you would then have double your £7, which would be £14, but that's just for the overtime. So let's look at an example of this. Stuart works 12 hours of overtime at double time this week. So what I'm going to do is, as we go through this, I'm just going to underline important bits of information. His hourly rate is £6.75 an hour. So what does he earn in overtime? So we are only looking at the overtime just now. There's nothing about his normal job here. If he's worked 12 hours of overtime at double time, well then we would take his £6.75 and we would times it by 2 for that double pay, and then to work out how much he's being paid, we're going to times it by the number of hours. So it doesn't really matter what order we're multiplying in here, but that's just the order that my brain thinks about it. So we take the hourly rate, multiply it by 2, and then multiply it by the number of hours worked, and I get £162 there. So he's being paid £162 for those 12 hours of overtime. Ava is contracted for 10 hours a week at £8.15 an hour. She worked 5 hours of overtime at double time this week. What was her total wage for the week? So we've got 10 hours a week and £8.15 an hour. She's also done 5 hours of overtime and gets paid double time for that, and it's her total wage that we want to calculate. So the first thing I'm going to work out is just her normal pay for the week. So that's her £8.15 times by her 10 normal hours. So that's £81.50. Her overtime is going to be, so your £8.15 at double pay for 5 hours, and that is also going to happen to be £81.50. So finally we need to work out the total, and that means that we are adding up the two amounts. So 81.50 plus 81.50. So that's going to give us £163 as her total wage for that week. Some employers will offer what we call time and a half for overtime. So it's not quite as much as double time, but you get paid 1.5 times the normal rate of pay that you work. So if we multiply something by 1, it stays the same. So that's your time, the normal amount of time. And the and a half is that 0.5. So 1 plus 0.5 makes 1.5. Kira has worked 9 hours of overtime this week. Her hourly rate is £5.90. What does she earn in overtime if she's paid time and a half? So her normal hourly rate is that £5.90 and she is paid time and a half, and it is for 9 hours, and that gives us £79.65. We're only asked about her overtime, so that's all we need to calculate there. Lewis is contracted for 20 hours a week at £7.50. He's worked 6 hours of overtime at time and a half. What is his total wage? So he's contracted for 20 hours at £7.50. He's got 6 hours of overtime, and that's at time and a half. And we are being asked about his total wage. So again, I'm going to start with his normal weekly wage. So that's the £7.50 times by 20. And that is £150 for the week. He has done 6 hours of overtime at time and a half. So it's the £7.50 times by 1.5 for time and a half, times by 6. And that is going to give us £67.50. And then lastly, his total wage then is going to be the 150 plus £67.50 for £217.50. Well done for sticking with the second section there, guys. You can see that you've now got 5 questions to attempt for section 2. And then finally, we've got an extension question if you want a wee bit of an extra challenge. So this is more like an exam style question that if you're needing a challenge, I thought we could give it a go. Try your best with these questions, guys. Any problems, pop a comment in our Teams chat and I will get back to you as quick as I can. Try your best, good luck, and I will speak to you in our next lesson.